right, we call this Community Redevelopment Agency meeting to order. At this time, if you can, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that brings us to the agenda. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda. All right, we got a motion by Mr. Merrill. Can I get a second? Second. We got a second by Mr. Berry. Mr. Merrill, any comments? Mr. Berry?
No, everything's good.
Let's go to a vote. All right, passes 5-0. Approval of minutes. Item 4.1, the Community Redevelopment Agency regular meeting minutes. Looking for a motion.
So move.
Second.
All right, moved by Mr. Jeter. Mr. Berry, second. Mr. Jeter, any comments?
No, sir.
Mr. Berry, anything on the minutes?
No, everything's good.
All right, let's do it. All right, that also passes 5-0. Public comment. This is anything that's not on the agenda. So anything at all that's not on the agenda, here's your time. State your name and address and 5 minutes and go from there. Come on up.
My name is Sally Reynolds, and I live at 124 Miracle Strip Parkway, Southwest, Unit 305, which is the Presidio. And thank you for allowing me to come to this meeting. We, over at the Presidio, we're a shining star in Fort Walton Beach, downtown here. We have 82 units. A third of those units are military veterans. We have combat, most of them are combat veterans, and but we're a microcosm of Fort Walton Beach. And we not only pay property tax, but we also pay our sales tax. We support the downtown. We're right here, and our family just had a big family reunion with 26 family members. We supported Beach Weekend, Okinawa, Stubby's, Pink Coyote, Lost Pizza, Pounders, Baskin Robbins, Five Guys, Publix, and we spent thousands of dollars in tax money. We love our downtown, and our kids love that they are from this local area. Back in, I do believe it was 2023, our neighboring property, which is Intermountain, which is going to be building a Marriott hotel, removed some power lines that were in the middle of their property and moved them over along our property line. And it's terrible. My husband, Jerry, will you hold these up, and then also will you pass this out afterwards? My husband is going to be my Vanna. So this was what it looked like before. Looking out at the water from the west side of the building. And now this is what it looks like. And I have come to address Mayor Ryan-Niersen, Jeff Peters, Dennis Reeves. I've come and visited with Jason Davis. I have talked with Chris Frasetti, Bernard Johnson about this egregious thing that our city allowed to happen.
You want me to continue showing these?
Yes, yeah. Allow this to happen. And so when they were putting up the poles, and this is the day that they were putting up the poles, one of our board presidents went out and said, "What's going on? What are you doing?" And they said, "Oh, this was done under an expedited permit." So he said, an expedited permit, there was no public hearing about these poles going up. And so anyways, there was, I guess, a policy back in those days of expedited permits where we didn't have public hearings. And, okay, and so anyways, everybody in the city, and including Chris Rossetti, Mayor Reinierson, everybody has been so kind. But everybody says it was legal. But just because something's legal doesn't make it right. And so the city allowed something to come, a company from outside the state, come and poke a finger in our eye. And we have people on the west side of the building that cannot sell their units because you walk into their unit and what do you see? That monstrous power pole fills up their whole living room window. And so we have 406 can't sell, 306 would like to sell, but they can't sell because of these power poles. As you can see, we're having a beautiful, we're building, redo, remodel, and Intermountain has been very kind to let us put our equipment over on that lot. But I really think that he was a smart businessman, Dave Raymond, and he knew that about the expedited permits, and he got that right under the wire, where they would move the poles for $100,000. It saved them $100,000, and put those poles up. And so our request is that we use some CRA money to help remedy a mistake that the city made. And everybody that I've talked to has said, yes, a grave mistake was made. It may be legal, but it isn't right. It isn't right. And so I admonish you to consider helping us out to get those power poles buried and do what's right for actual residents of the city of Fort Walton Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sally. Ms. Sally, that expedited development process, was that with the state? Was that with the city?
City.
Okay.
So, anyways.
May I hand these to you?
Yes, and I have a packet for each of you as well.
May I hand them?
Yes. Oh, one other thing I was going to say, I've got all the Hurricane Opal, Hurricane Ivan, Hurricane Sally, which fits my name, and all the boats that have come across that piece of property up onto Highway 98 and beyond. So I don't know why they put the power pole right there next to the water. To me, it is definitely not a good decision when you think about putting a power pole truly on the water's edge right there on the property.
Yes, the power pole conversation would be something citywide, ultimately I'd like statewide to bury all of these, all of these power poles if we could, for a lot of reasons, not just for the beautiful sunset view. But curious, by any chance, have y'all applied, or has the HOA board applied for what it would cost to bury it, or any assessment?
So Chris Rossetti, he has been fabulous, has checked into that, and they cannot give us the amount, but it's north, or maybe, no, it's Ann Bernard Johnson. It's north of 100 up to 150 if you take both poles down. And the most egregious pole is the one that's right on the water, right there on the corner of our property. And so it's between 100 and 150. They can't give us an exact amount.
Right. Just curious if y'all's board has entertained doing anything with that as far as funding it.
We're in the middle of a special assessment as ourselves, and so we feel like we should not have to pay for a city's mistake. And that's, where the mistake and who the mistake lied with, I don't know. But we would like to work with the city, though. We would.
Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you.
We're getting ready to talk about some parking issues as well that also will need some money and things like that. So budget cycle is here, and we hear your requests, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
All right. Public comments. Anybody else? Seeing no more public comments, item 6.1, action, direction, discussion, CRA quarterly update 2025. Mr. Gibson?
Good afternoon, Board. Tim Gibson, Growth Management Director. Yes, that feels weird saying, as I'm sure it feels weird for you hearing.
It looks
I
great.
just wanted to take a couple of minutes to just kick this off before I turn it over to Elisa. We did make a few tweaks based off of, I've been listening to the last couple CRA board meetings and stuff. We made a few tweaks in the presentation. Hopefully kind of get you some of the stuff you're looking for. I did want to come in and just let you know that over the next couple of days, I'm probably going to be emailing each of you independently. I would love to take a few minutes of your time to sit down and talk about the CRA and kind of the direction you individually want to see the CRA going, as well as just growth management as a whole and stuff. But really just kind of want to put that out there, letting you know that that's going to be coming in the next day or so, and then turn it over to Elisa. But I'll be here if there's any questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Good afternoon. It's great to see y'all again. So this is going to be our last quarterly update. We will be going toward every other month. So according to y'all's request, y'all wanted to have these every other month. So those are the dates for the upcoming, for the rest of the year and into next year. And also our community input meetings, those are the date through the rest of the year. We have those monthly, and we will be updating y'all on the past two we've already had.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. So right now with the, this is not the right one. Sorry, do you not have another one that is pulled up? This is, I updated it, and this is not the right one. I'm sorry. That page is supposed to look like this. I saved it. And is there another one in it?
While she figures that out,
Transfer.
the Presidio is in this presentation she put together, so we'll have some more on that.
Copy.
And then I think I gave you some bad information I don't remember. The Gulf League, I think I said it was making 100,000 a year at our last board meeting. It is not. It is making about 100 for the last 72 months total.
Okay.
So I might have a different logic once she gets into those slides.
That's revenue?
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
$100,000 for the whole sheet. Just for the time. I'll go ahead and draw some to it. Okay. So, that should be that one right there. Yeah, because it says 415. All right, that's it. Okay, all right. So there are some changes that I made this afternoon, updates, nothing major, but just wanted to, did you not, would I need to put that other one up? The one that we just saw? Okay, all right, I saw it, but okay, I'm sorry. The changes are minor and I can just adjust them from there. It's not that big of a deal. So what I'd like to go on this one, we're going to be talking about, I just wanted to brief y'all, we will be addressing the CRA grants in a little bit, but I wanted y'all to get a full understanding of where we stand right now regarding the CRA grants. So this year we've had a total of 26 applications, and 5 have been fully funded at this time for almost $15,000. We have some more that are in the coffers to be funded. We're just waiting on them to finish their projects, and then those will be funded. Majority of ours were the facade grants. So I wanted to give y'all an update real quick on what the grants look like, because we will be addressing them in a little bit. Any questions so far? Okay. Next, oh, it's me. I'm used to you doing it. You spoiled me. Okay, so real quick, we're just updating on our completed projects. I did conduct a SEPTED site analysis of a multifamily apartment unit. It's actually for lower income seniors. That was one thing that was done to be in compliance of the multi-purpose family statutes that are established in the state. We also did, and I want to thank y'all for approving the addition to the CRA plan to add the community policing program. That was completed. On the CRA projects, we completed the downtown design guidelines, and y'all approved that, which was great, and we established the new city input meetings. Those are the ones we've completed so far since the last meeting. I took that slide out. Okay, so this right here is just a review on our community input meetings. We discussed many things. It was great. The purpose of this meeting was to give them a chance to come out and talk with us, with the staff members and with CRA. One wonderful thing that came out of it, which was improved, was there was when a citizen came and she had, her business was right up against a retention pond. And as you could see in that picture, that's okay, it's fine, that's okay. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So that retention pond, as you can see, it was overgrown and it was encroaching onto her property and her fence. So she came to the meeting and expressed concern about it. I met with her, I even went to the property, I took pictures of it, and then communicated with the with the code enforcement and with streets and stormwater department. They went out and looked at it, took some more pictures, and then notified the property owner that they needed to clean that area up, which was wonderful. It got done very quickly, and that's within the month, or within a couple of weeks. As you can see, the clean lot, then that was done. So that is cleaned up because the property owner adjacent to it, it wasn't her property, came to the meeting and expressed concern. That's what these meetings are great for, and I was very happy to see that. Another thing that was discussed was our sidewalks and that they need to be cleaned, and there are some damaged sidewalks, so we are addressing those and are going to do some cleaning downtown to address those. But it was a great meeting. Several things were discussed. At the first meeting we had about 10. The second meeting was about 15. We have a whole lot more people coming, and the word's getting out, and some even new people that never heard about it. So it's a very popular meeting, and we're grateful that we're doing it now. Very good response. Questions? Okay. So the next one is our wonderful downtown design, downtown entrance sign. So World of Signs won the bid, and this is what they provided. And if you'll see the bottom one, that's going to be lit from behind, so it glows at night, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. The one up top is a two-sided sign, so whichever direction you're coming in, you will see that sign. We anticipate the completion project of that to be installed by November the 30th. Hoping sooner, but it's supposed to be installed by November 30th. It is right now being manufactured. It's in the manufacturing process. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Here we go, Mr. Barrett.
The top right.
Yes, ma'am.
Two different signs.
It's the front and back. It's a two-way, yeah. I wanted y'all to see the front and back because it is two-sided.
Okay.
So I wanted y'all to see that it is going, no matter what direction you come on Miracle Strip Parkway, you're going to see that sign. It's not just from coming over the bridge. We didn't want it to be one way.
Okay.
Okay.
And it might be in another slide, but what's the grounds look like?
That is the next slide.
There you go.
Yes, it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the lot. And the yellow circle is where the sign's going to be placed. We went out there and looked and figured that was the best spot. I had initially thought in the middle of the lot, but you can't see it because of the buildings there. And we're going to put it a little bit in front of, I don't know if you can see to the left of where the little circle, is. That's the current downtown sign. It's going to be in the lot in front of it and close to the street, so you can see it when you come in about in that circle. I'm in the process of working with getting some design ideas from landscaping companies. We've got some wonderful ideas. We're going to meet and discuss them and pick out the best one that we think is optional. Some beautiful stuff have come in, and I gave them a budget of $50,000, and they're coming under $50,000, some of them are. So where the sign will be installed, we're looking at, like I said, by the end of November. We're not going to start the landscaping until the sign's installed, because it just wouldn't make sense. So as soon as the sign is installed, the landscaping design will be up there. The designs I'm looking at, what I kind of told them, I said, I want to encourage people to come up and take selfies in front of the sign. I want to encourage them to come up and walk around. But we're not going to have benches out there. It's just going to be walk up, take pictures, look at the area, and then move on. Because we don't want to encourage people camping out and sitting there. And now you can sit on the sign bottom base to take pictures, but it's nothing where you could lay down or camp out there. It's going to be a very beautiful area. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
Yes.
The construction of the sign, probably a little too early, but is it going to be more like a pole sign, or is it going to be like a monument sign? And the only reason I ask is because the type of construction, I've moved both of those types of signs before, and I know this is probably years out, but should Around the Mountain come and we want to shift that or move it, or that Highway 98's not our main entrance X amount of years from now, it's very easy to saw cut a pole saw, a pole sign and re-weld it as opposed to a monument sign, you almost have
Yeah,
to demolish it. So just throwing that out there. You don't have to answer if
It
you don't know.
is, if you can see, I'll go ahead and answer that for you. So there will be a pole, if you can see underneath the sign that goes into the ground, and that pole will go straight up through the sign to support it. Now, we will be putting, Public Works is going to be laying the foundation, a 5x5 concrete foundation. And they will lay that with the pole, and then they will come along and install it on top of that pole. So the answer is yes, it's going to have a concrete foundation, but it's just a 5x5, and it's going to be a lot easier to move if we want to.
You know, all the pole signs have a foundation. I just saw some of that gray block around it. I was making sure it wasn't a built-in like monument sign that you almost got to demolish to move. But if it's a pole sign, you can cut it, weld it, move it. Hopefully that should or shouldn't happen 5 years from now.
I'm sorry, the foundation is going to be concrete blocks around the bottom, but it's 5x5. So if they get destroyed, it's not going to be that big of a deal to replace those. But the sign itself, yes, it's going to be, there will be a pole going up through the middle of it to support it. It is hurricane wind tested. They had all the, I gave them all the dimensions that had to be wind resistance. Sorry.
And I love it. It's a beautiful sign, by the way.
That's part of the reason where the location we picked on the southern part of that, because with the round mound, it's really the northern part of that lot is what's really in question in there. We're hoping that at least that southern part of the lot would not be affected by the around mound. So that drove part of that decision and having that being on the southern part of that property as well, just in case that does come that way.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because when I did you see the circle on the left part? I had one of the designers ask me, can we use that area? And I said, well, don't plan on it, because that would be part of the around the mound. And we think it is right now, so that's what it is in design. So we wanted to prepare for it to be, hopefully not have to be moved, but if it needs to be moved, it can.
And I also wouldn't bring that up to slow down progress at all. You know me, let's get it done. If we got to move it 5 years from now, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's a beautiful sign, let's get it done.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be
In
beautiful.
20 years, I'll just put it on R&R budget and replace it.
Now, it's going to be beautiful, and that's why I wanted y'all to know that goal is, and actually that's what's on the book, they said by the end of November, they should have it manufactured and installed. And then at that time, we will start immediately. I'll have everything ready to do the landscaping. And so they'll be ready to go with PO and everything done. So when that sign is installed, they can start immediately on the landscaping.
Not to drill too deep in the weeds, but landscaping, does that 50,000 include, what kind of grass product are we doing?
To be honest, it's not going to include, I've got a couple of designs. One of them I think we may go with the most, because it's mostly pavers. Because to get a lot of landscaping there is we'd have to put water irrigation system. And we could hook up to the Gulf View. Like I said, we don't want to.
Pavers and synthetic grass, it'll look beautiful 10 years from now.
And like I said, and even there's a couple of trees, and there's even some, on one of them even had some bollards that are kind of fun bollards that'll be out there. And I'm really excited about the designs we've got, but I have my favorite, of course, but it's not just what Elisa wants. So we're going to be getting, Jason and Tim and David. What's your name today, Daniel? Get all of them together to actually look at it and make sure that it's
That's
a
why I
good
brought
design.
it up, because before y'all got rolling too far downhill and getting those POs and those quotes and all the things that finance keeps us compliant with, it just good to have a good board conversation. So,
And when we decide, of course, I will bring it back to y'all and show y'all this is the one that the team has decided and liked. And y'all will actually get to put your stamp of approval on it. If you don't like it, then of course say, go back to the drawing board. But I think you're gonna love it. So it's some great designs. Okay. Okay. Now, our wayfinding sign, this is in the process of getting the bidding paperwork done. This is as y'all did years ago, before I even got here, we did this study and this sign came out. These are the colors. We're pulling the colors from the FWB logo, as you can see. So where it says FWB up top, that's actually going to be the logo. That was just a place filler. We're going to put the FWB 365 logo in there. And then we're going to have all these signs. The phase one is the directional signs that are giving people direction on where to go and where our major landmarks are. As you can tell, it's going to be a very large sign. We currently do have some signs, but they're so little you can't really notice them. And these are going to be very large, very nice and attractive. We anticipate, I've talked to a couple of, like I said, it should be ready to install. The companies I've talked to that do signing stuff, I said, if you get this bid and if everything's done, can you get them ready and to us by the end of the year, and they said yes. We will be installing them to save money. I've already talked to Jerry Gunn, and he said yes, we can install them. It's a good timing in the winter to install these signs because they're not as busy and as much in demand in the winter time. So this is a great timing for those. Phase 1 is a directional sign. Phase 2 will be our gateway entrance signs and some landmark signs that are actually at certain places like the Heritage Center and specific landmarks.
Excuse me. You already have some of these signs up on Eglin.
Those are not these. Those are old signs. Those are some old ones that are smaller. This is a whole lot bigger.
Oh.
Those directional, you see where it says City Chamber of Commerce? That's actually 4 feet long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are a whole lot bigger.
Okay.
And yes, you're right, we do have some. They're just not as big as these, and this is what the study said will look best in the city, and those are the colors we're going to use.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to touch on is our favorite lot. This is the Perry Road fencing, and I'm going to go over some things, but we've recently had something new come up. But I sent out a request to some fencing companies like we had discussed last time to get some options and see what's out there. If you'll see the highlighted area that's along Miracle Strip and up Perry and then the little corner right there, that's the main area I think we need to focus on. To do the entire area was going to be really, like, we're talking $120,000 for fencing. So for the kind I wanted, that would look nice and a whole lot better in there. But I want to show y'all what we looked at. So there's several options we came up with. The one I was initially thinking about was the metal fence panels at the top corner. Those are nice looking fences, and they're for areas that are really pretty and you want to make them look more professional. That was the one I was initially talking about. But to get those, you're looking at over $100,000 for those. And then you've got the same chain link fence, but it's got the black vinyl chain, or it's got the black vinyl chain link. It's nicer than the regular chain link that's there, but it still doesn't hide the problem. So those fences will look nicer, but they still don't hide the problem. The problem is the overgrown grass onto the sidewalk and trash. So as nice as those might be, and it's better than what we've got now, they're still not, they still won't solve our problem. So I have looked at, and somebody suggested this, I'm not going to mention Tim, this jasmine wall is a living wall that we came up that would be beautiful, and it's actually cheaper than the fencing. And it would actually be a living wall of jasmine or even some other flowers. It would smell good and it would look pretty. It would hide the lot. The issue with that is it's going to take about a year for it actually to get developed, but they do grow from the ground up. So that will help with the landscaping and the dirt that you see or the trash that's in there. For the living wall, you're looking at a price range of about $40,000 to $60,000, and it would completely cover that lot. And it's a lot cheaper than the fence, and it does more, but it would take time, more time. That you see right there, now that's 3-year growth, but like I said, it's 3-year growth. The price range I've got a couple of landscapers to give me a price range. We would have to put in a well system there, and also it would include maintenance of it and make sure. So if I get a quote and that's the direction we want to go, I want to include maintenance on it. I don't want to just get installed and not include that in the quote. So that's what we want to do if we go that direction. Now, we just got a notification the other day, which is good news. But the property owner is possibly going to start breaking ground or moving forward spring of next year to do something with that lot. So with that being said, we need to decide, do we want to put any money on that? So that's why I got the quote for the green mesh fence cover. If we do another fence wrap, it would be one that actually does breathe, and it would have the grommets that are not connected just by plastic zip ties. We're going to actually get the metal connections so they don't tear up and come and flap in the sidewalk. We could do a fence mesh wrap that would, and I've just got a price for a green one, that's an estimated price. You're looking at about $5,000 to put a wrap around it to just hide the area until they come and do something. But that's where we need to decide. Do we want to put any money in this property to at least hide it? Or do we want to try to be more on top of them and get code enforcement to really kind of be on top of them to keep their lot clean if they're going to be moving forward?
I like the last option best.
The mesh.
No, code enforcement.
Okay. And that is y'all's decision. I know. And here's the thing.
How confident was that spring? I mean, I'm confident in those guys and that team, doing it, but
Yeah. Tim
that's
talked
a good question as
Yeah,
far as
it's-
cost goes and all that, but
Yeah.
to kind of answer that with maybe some more information that we may or may not be able to substantiate.
He talked to their attorney, so I'm gonna let him answer that for you.
So obviously, we do have the lease on the property for doing some of the parking and stuff. In that lease, it does talk about if we're going to make any changes to the property or do anything actual structurally on the property, we have to get their approval from that. Before we wanted to go down this road of all the fences, maybe even putting in a well for the living wall and stuff like that, I wanted to reach out and say, hey, would you be okay with this? And they said they're fine for us doing whatever we want to do. They just wanted us to not be mad because there is the provision in that lease that they can give us 90 days notice and it's terminated. So they just want to make sure we're not going to go in there and sink $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 into this properties, and then 2 days later they send us a notice saying in 60 days or 90 days you got to be off the property. I don't know. I did ask them if they could give, I mean, obviously not holding them to anything, if they had any ideas. She initially said within the next year. I asked if she could narrow that down or anything like that. They said they're actually looking at the first quarter of 26. Now,
Nothing at this point
how
has been-
definitive that is, I don't know. If they've been,
But nothing has been, at this point, applied or reviewed through staff, a DO.
Not recently, no. They did apply for a development agreement, but honestly, that was like 4 years ago when they were kind of the whole landmark center was being revived as a thought back then. There's been no official applications or anything since that point and stuff. So
Thank you.
it will be a lot more coming, if it's going to be done. I'm not sure when they say spring or first quarter of 26. I don't know if that's when they're going to start kind of reapplying for the development orders and stuff like that. I don't really know. That's just the best information I've got right now is that they're going to look forward to moving, or they're going to look into moving forward early next year.
Thank you, sir.
Since he talked to the attorney, I thought it'd be best to let him explain. Yes, sir.
Peter.
The new property owners have a very good portfolio of a lot of projects they've completed. So if they're saying a year, oh, that's great. But a lot of us have been in this room and watched that corner look
Yes.
like that for over 10 years now. And it's always been, well, next year, well, next year, well, next year. I know it's a new owner, great portfolio, a lot of projects. What scares me about and this is just why we're discussing this, what scares me about the living is, yes, if they do start in a year or two, irrigation, maintenance, I get it. I also look at that and it looks very similar to the bushes across the street and in front of Publix and Beach Liquors where people are always seem to be hanging out and you can't see them. We've had that
Yes.
vagrant corner talk before. If they're serious about starting in a year, the current fence that's there is probably not up to OSHA standards. They're probably going to need to do some type of fence. So if we do anything, my personal thought would be the green mesh, only the green mesh like we tried to do last time, on a new fence, which they might want to help us with because they're going to have to do a new fence if they really are starting a construction project.
Yeah, okay.
And with the correct windscreen that could also, we could leave some sections out, advertise our city like we did, but if they really are going to do a project, I'm almost certain that every project of that scale now gets a brand new OSHA approved fence and they're going to want some kind of banner on there promoting their project. So I'd be interested in going back, finding a win-win, need a new fence there, need the windscreen. That'd be my
That's good feedback.
thoughts.
Yeah, that's good feedback.
It's a very good point. And like I said, we would have no problem talking to them and asking them if you're serious, just like you said. Then here's how we'd like to go to try to keep that lot looking nice until y'all do get going. So wonderful. We'll reach out to them and do that if that's what y'all want me to do on this project.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Maybe like you said, they'll help with getting the fence and getting it up to standards as they prepare for this hopeful development within the next year. So,
Okay, yeah. And I'll talk to them about doing the mesh.
I would say, in the immediacy, if you're okay with this, I mean, getting the new fence in and coordinating them might take a little bit longer. If you're good with this, I mean, I think we could probably go ahead and just move forward with the green mesh on there right now. It's going to be a quick Band-Aid. Yeah, the fence is going to have to be replaced, but I think that's going to be a lot lower cost to just pull the green off, replace the fence, and put it back on there. If you're good with that, I mean, I think that's something we could move forward with that's going to see the results. Probably the quickest of anything is just getting the green mesh up on there with the fence that's there existing.
I like squaring it up that way. Any comments or feedback from the board?
And while the bridge project's going on, it's not like, I want to see it done too, but while all that's going on, I think, and with the possibility of them doing that in the next 6 months to a
Maybe.
year, I don't think we can justify spending more, so I agree with you guys.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because like I said, my estimate on the perforated mesh is the $7 per square foot, and that's it's over 720 square feet. So yes, we would be spending about $6,000 for something that could be temporary, but y'all tell me, I could call tomorrow and order that fence wrap and put it up ASAP. But that's up to y'all whether you want us to spend that money.
Yeah, I like what Mr. Gibson said, that squaring it up, yeah, and then rolling with that and see, and also too, run in parallel with the property owners to, as they prepare for the development, hopeful process next year. Maybe they're ready, again, to run parallel with this green mesh, getting a fence coming within the next 6 months or a year, whenever they prioritize wanting to get that fence. Does that sound right?
I need clear direction from y'all. Do you want me to go ahead and order the fence
Yes.
wrap and put it on?
Yes.
Well, some are saying no and some are saying
What
yes.
Mr. Gibson said. I'm sorry, Mr. Jeter?
Are we putting the fence up, or we're ordering the green wrap and we're putting it up?
We will order the green wrap and have it installed on the current fence. When they want to do another fence, we can take it off and put that one back on the new fence. So it's not like if we spend the money now, it's wasted money. It would be put on the new fence. I would say they would have to pay for the new fence. We've already got the wrap. We can just attach it to the new fence. We could go ahead and order a wrap now and get it on the existing fence. And that way it can be done ASAP.
So the green fence is wind loaded, it has better grommets than last time, because we got with the TDC last time, and the material we put up there was not the correct fence wrap, and it blew over every day, and no one, I personally put zip ties on it myself.
I did too.
I know other
Yeah.
people that did, and so I just want to make sure, again, it's done correctly.
Yeah, it will be. I have already talked to the company, one of the companies that I know can do it right. Of course, I have to, if I can get it under 5,000, we don't have to take it out for bid. But I don't think we will. So if I've already talked to them, I'm not going to, and I'm with you, I was out there many times with zip ties trying to do that, just to have it blown again. And the wrap wasn't what we had thought it was going to be, more breathable, and it take the wind, and it just didn't. I think with the graphics that was on it actually interfered a lot with the wind flowing through.
Well, and a lot of it, they have like a horseshoe cut shape in it to blow in it. And
Yeah.
even the
And
ones
they
on all of
need
our
to do
pickleball courts over on Mooney, they blow, but they don't have that horseshoe. The
Yeah.
ones I've done always have a
And
wind
some of
cut in
them,
them.
you're right, some of them do have the horseshoe cut in them, and some of them do have the mesh where it is rated to take up so much wind without being torn apart. I have heard that one of the main problems is actually how it's attached to the fence. And I think that was one of our main problems, was it was attached with zip ties that are plastic and tear up. So if we do this, it will be attached with metal hooks, and the metal hooks will go through the grommets around the fence.
Got it.
Mr. Berry?
I'm not in favor of spending any money. You know, if this property does not belong to the city, and the owners are talking about improving the law, they're responsible. Get code enforcement in there to tell, it's been,
Real quick on that, we're leasing the property to the city, and there's an obligation for the city to
we're
actually,
leasing the property?
the property right there, the city's currently leasing it under a lease, and the city actually has an obligation to maintain the property right now, so
I did
that
not.
creates a wrinkle on that.
I did not know that.
Mr. Burns does a good job of keeping us.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And with that being said, and I had gone back and forth, I appreciate you confirming that. If we are responsible for maintaining the property since we're leasing it, then the overgrowth and the trash is on us. So we are going to need to get out there and get that cleaned up. I would talk to Park and Rec, the people that actually do the landscaping, and try to get them to stay on top of it. And maybe we can work on that now and get that, keep it clean. But like I said, y'all tell me what direction you want me to go. I'll order the wrap, or we'll just work, we can try and just work on keeping it clean.
I'm in favor of mowing the lawn.
Y'all let me know. That's y'all's decision.
I'm in favor of a wrap done correctly. And mowing the lawn, and getting
And
those,
keeping
I
it
mean,
clean.
I'm for all of it, but.
I agree with you. I mean, something needs to be done. I'm kind of leery on putting money into it, but to be honest, 5,000, it's not that much, but yet then again, it is $5,000 that could be going to something else. And we could just try to keep it clean. Y'all tell me what direction you want me to go.
All right, I make a move to go ahead and move forward with the green mesh while continuing to communicate with the property owner on when they're prioritizing their fencing for their future development. Done the appropriate way with all the hooks and those kind of things, while keeping our team, Chief Page and Officer Williams and those folks that have done a fine job off that corner lot and keeping it as clean as we can with our team. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. Let's go to vote.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, passes 4-1. Continue, Miss Alicia.
I will. Okay. All right, so we had previously discussed a program for nuisance abatement beyond just what we have with the grants. And this is bigger projects that the city and the CRA could actually pay for to eliminate blighted property and blighted buildings that are, if the CRA goes in and it cleans these buildings out, demolishes them, cleans the lot, then it opens it up for investors and people to come in. Plus, it eliminates a very blighted property within the CRA. So I separated them into, well, these are actually the character districts within the CRA. So as you'll see the character districts on the Steamboat Landing, and we just recently, Jason met with some people the other day, we're looking at also the parking lot on Brook Street. So those two are actually in the downtown core area. Steamboat Landing, and I've got the prices in a little bit. The next one is Wyndham House townhouses. Those are in the yellow, and that is the Central Residential District. And then another property is in the red, which is all along the Glen Commercial Corridor. So here are the properties. So everybody's aware of Steamboat Landing, and it's on the top left. So the prices to demolish that and clean off that property, you're looking at around $146,000 to demolish the building, the pools, the miscellaneous buildings. That is the quote I got, verbal, not written. They just verbally gave me something, so it's not official yet, that's what our prices might be. That is an estimated total. You're looking at about $6 per square foot on that building. Now the parking lot to the right, if y'all are familiar where that parking lot is, that area, and there's more involved in that, and it just came up last week, so we don't have the prices on it, and we'd have to involve a whole lot more people on whether we can do that or not. That is actually 5 separate parcels owned by 4 separate companies. And there's also a dumpster on that property that would be part of my dumpster mitigation area that y'all going to see in a little bit. So that's something just came up, don't have any prices on that. The next one is Gibson Place. That is an old daycare center. I've talked to the owner. She has not signed the agreement, which I have one here, hold harmless agreement. She hasn't signed it yet, but she said yes, she's definitely open to being part of this project. Wyndham Avenue Townhouse, that is already been quoted to demo. I already have his hold harmless agreement saying y'all can destroy that for me and clean it up. The price on that's going to be $24,885. It's in delay a lot because the prices that the young man, he's a veteran, and a lot of prices went up. So he's like, I've got to get more money. If y'all can demo this for me, that would really help move this project along. So that's up there. Already have a hold harmless, but that's up to y'all whether y'all want to move forward with any of those projects. Any questions on these? Yes, sir.
Yes to all 3.
Okay.
They all need to be, I mean, those are the things that we can do up here to incentivize, to kickstart, and even if not kickstart, you'd rather look at a sandlot field than some of those structures, just aesthetically. So I like that a lot better. I think last time that John was in here, we were like $180,000, $190,000, but that included his site work and everything. Well, we don't need to interfere with site work. We just need to demolish really structures that are dangerous to our community. We could justify it that way. These are structures that are dangerous for our community. So yeah, all 3 of them.
Yeah, and they are blighted, and they do attract bad areas. And I will let y'all know, I have talked to another lady that's not up there, and she is working with her realtor, that her property is actually on Beale, right here on the main strip. And I've talked to her about the possibility about being a part of this program. And she's considering it. She's talking to a realtor, seeing if her property would be more valuable if it's cleared. than if she sells it as is.
And I think that's going to be the common feedback as this program develops, is those property owners saying, okay, I'm getting some hits that are wanting to buy, and hopefully they're wanting to sell or do something themselves on their own property and trying to, get that lightedness turning into what we're statutorily obligated to do here with the CRA into something better than that. So thank you for being creative.
Okay, thank you.
So
So,
on projects a little more in depth with the 5 individual owners or 4 owners or whatever. I think some of the owners are here, but behind the music hall.
yeah, it's the music hall and over there.
That individual owner wants to just block it off and not use parking at all, so it almost can't get to the parking for some of those other boutique suites. It's a substantial redesign. Probably some stormwater issues, I'm guessing. Is there any concern from that angle?
I think officially, yes.
So it might have to still be some kind of a permeable solution, but that one's going to take some engineering. So, and then buy-in from the business owners. We're going to use CRA money to fix this. They have to maintain it going forward, or we're right back in this scenario, 5-10 years down the road. So, probably Mr. Burns and I would have to draft something saying, hey, this is, the city's going to do this, you have to do this, something along those lines. So we might have to circle back in a month with some options to address it, but right now it's a safety hazard at best, in my opinion. There's some potholes and whatnot. And
Thank you for that update.
I guess, and also on Steamboat Landing, I talked to their litigation counsel for the Steamboat entity that's in the process of basically doing like a form of a foreclosure to basically sell the property because it's a timeshare property. They said 2 months ago, they said they're probably October, November timeframe from whenever their motion for summary judgment might be ready. I'm looking at the docket right now, and it looks like they just had an order extending time to serve individuals. So I'm sure if I talk to them again, they'll probably push that out to December or January. Just so if you see that building still there, don't get mad at Jason because there's litigation time.
Thank you for keeping us in compliance. Thank you. Mr. Berry?
Is that 190 Brooks Street, is that the parking lot that has
the one that you
the
and I
tattoo parlor? Yeah, that one, okay.
Yep.
So what is the play with that, Mr. Davis? I know we have some people here from the community that probably got something to say. You probably met with a lot of these people and staff, but any feedback you got on what we need to do to either further dive into this, or any suggestions?
I mean, if the business owners are here and they want to speak, I think now's the time.
Okay, we'll go that route. All right,
We have one raising her hand. She wants to speak.
Some business owners here.
Some business owners.
I think right behind me, my neighbor, so Jeff.
And right now, in the context of the parking, which I'm assuming
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jeff Bullard. I live at 209 Kelly Avenue Northeast in Fort Walton Beach. And I do own a part of that parking lot that we're talking about. Little background, the city leased from us. There are like 5 different owners back there. The city leased from us for $1 for 10 years. And they actually did not deliver on the type of surface that they said they were going to put in. And we ended up with that crushed rock that's out there, which is extremely difficult to maintain. Like one of the gentlemen said, now it's become a safety hazard because the city basically didn't want to maintain it. I got up with them a while back and talked to some of the people, but a couple of the owners are hard to get a hold of and stuff. I've been trying to get everybody on the same page. We'd like to see it get repaired and continue to allow the public to use it. But it's going to take probably a pretty good amount of money to do that, and I don't know what we can work out, but I'm not inclined to spend a lot of money on that if it's going to be public parking. You know what I mean? It's like, if it was going to be strictly for my customers, yeah, I would spend money on it. But if it's, yeah, I would think that we could maybe entertain some kind of deal where the city came in and redid it, put down a surface that is viable other than crushed rock, because it's proved to be extremely hard to maintain. The city was very negligent on maintaining it, and it's gotten pretty bad now. Somebody said it looked like a safety hazard, and I definitely agree with that. So, any questions?
Mr. Burns or Mr. Davis, on that lease, is it similar to that landmark conversation we just talked about where we were responsible for maintaining the lot, or is it different?
Well, at the time, that lease expired quite a while ago. So what the city did in this situation was they got with all the property owners, they fixed up the parking lot, and then the property owners leased the property back to the city under a 10-year lease. They actually entered into, I think, 5 different leases with all the property owners. And the problem where the breakdown was is the city never either got a 20-year lease or 30-year lease, so they would keep maintaining it. They only did a 10-year lease. And then they also didn't establish any kind of cross responsibility amongst the property owners themselves, because if the city decided to let that lease expire, then the property owners have no way of really enforcing it amongst themselves. If one owner, maybe in the middle of the property, doesn't want to have a parking lot anymore, the other owners are kind of at the mercy. And so it's not like the landmark in the sense that the city, it's been such a long period of time since the lease expired. So if there's anything that's happened since then, and I'm not sure if the city was maintaining it then, they would have had a duty though.
While the lease was going on, the duty was there.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any questions?
Was there anything in that you talked about not getting the surface that was supposed to be in? Was there anything on record that showed that the city had a responsibility?
I haven't looked into that issue, but I can tell you it's standard in leases to have maintenance responsibilities. I don't know what exactly they would have specified. If it would have, it probably wouldn't have had the exact type of surface. So I doubt the lease actually said they were going to pave it with asphalt or something like that. So if they chose to use rock, they still would have needed to maintain the rock in that certain way.
The maintenance responsibility was there.
Correct.
Yeah. Mr. Ayers?
I've gone by there and I noticed that there used to be 2 handicap parking spaces there, and now I see that there's signs there that state that those parking spaces belong to the tattoo parlor.
Tattoos Forever, correct.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Those
So did you
are
buy-
personal property now.
Did you buy those lots?
I've owned those since 2000.
Multiple property owners. That's the whole deal.
Is that what you were talking about, multiple
Yeah.
property?
That's it.
So you're maintaining those parking spaces now? Or I don't see where they've been maintained.
That's why it's here.
What do you like, what do you
That's why,
mean?
that's why I'm asking, you know.
Those spaces are paved with concrete, the 2 spaces you're talking about, so there's not much maintenance to them.
And so what happened, Mr. Berry? So when the city entered into the leases with all the owners, anyone from the public would have thought it was all one parking lot that the city probably owned. And so the city positioned the handicap parking spaces for the entire parking lot on certain owners' properties. And I believe Tattoos Forever, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know Chris was involved in this, and I think Tattoos Forever might have had more of the handicap spots for the entire parking
You
lot.
got the only 2.
The only 2. So they actually had the only 2 for the entire parking lot on their lot. And so once the lease expired, technically speaking, under the code, every one of those property owners then would be responsible for however many handicap spots they're required to have, which again, Tim can tell you that number if it's 0 or 1 or whatever, but it wouldn't be 2 most likely in this situation. So it's a very confusing situation from that standpoint.
I agree.
Thank you. How about
The just an easy solution is we get that lot surveyed and just buy it from each one of the owners, and know it's a city lot. I don't know, just trying to think through. I feel like we've had doing this forever with 5 different perspectives.
I like the whiteboard. Mr. Merrill?
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, do you feel like you have a consensus from the owners? Like, besides what you said, would everybody be okay with this set solution? Is that something, as we think of ideas, have you guys come up like resurfaced, maintained, and then, but if we do that, is that something we could do and then leave it in a lease at the end, at which point it defines the responsibilities of the owners once it goes back?
Can I suggest that maybe, if he nods and said yes, maybe directing the city manager to maybe sit down, unless you've already done it, Jason, with the group. And so then he can sit down and we can come up with a solution, because he might not be able to say he has all 5 owners today, but we might be able to, next month, get everyone together and work on that.
It sounds like it's heading in a certain direction. Let's hear from some others. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, under that scenario, if we eventually buy it, it's just a parking lot forever. Or whatever.
If all 5 are willing to sell it.
Correct.
But I mean, it's worth asking, yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. Any others here to discuss some parking lot challenges? Come up to the mic and name and address. I know it. You're almost there.
Hi, I'm Sissy Brown. My mother-in-law's trust owns one of these pieces of property. You just came up with an idea, get everybody together, come up with a consensus. You as the city tried to do that about 2 years ago. After the lease expired, people were complaining about the maintenance, about the potholes, da-da-da-da-da. So, because I came and met, they called me, and I came down and met with Tim and Chris, thank you very much. And they asked if we would entertain, they said back then at that time, the parking lot was done the wrong way, should never have been done like that, da-da-da-da, but the water management people made them do that. It should have been paved or something to that effect. Anyway, long story short, they said, would y'all be open to sitting down with the rest of the owners and coming up with a plan to solve this? And I said, absolutely. About three and a half months later, I called and I said, what's the scoop? Where is everybody? What's happening? Because it's getting, at that point, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And my tenant, I know at one point, even went and put his own gravel in some of the potholes and smoked them out because it's so bad. And the reply that I got, I said, where is everybody? What are we doing? And they said, nobody would meet. So now all of a sudden, everybody wants to meet. So I just want you to know that a year ago, last April, I think it was in the spring, nobody wanted to.
Okay. So, thank you, Ms.
That's...
So we got, 2 to 5 property owners here? Do we have more? All right, next property owner. Mr. Wenzel?
Yeah. Well, we heard most of the background. What you should know that when the landing starts, the music. Now I know you got new 45 spaces going up behind me here. That parking lot fills up with, you can see them pulling their wagon and their kids over to the music. So then you got Magnolia Cafe. When he fills up, then they come over to the parking lot. And matter of fact, the parking that we used to have before the bridge took it from us, that would fill up with the music. They walk all the way over to what the address was, I can't remember, but it's now going to be, it's by the sign, the big overhead sign out there. So it's used by the public. I was under the impression that the city would maintain it. I couldn't hear it. It's hard for me to hear, but everything goes in that direction when I'm sitting back there. It was wonderful when they put it together. It solved the drainage. didn't have to go there on Sunday morning or hire someone to came and want to tell you what we'd be picking up from the overnight parties and so forth, and shooing the homeless out. The parking lot's a real plus, and it's right in the middle of the city. So I don't understand what the holdup was. I talked to Jason. We had a meeting at he had a meeting at the library here a few weeks ago. There's been an accident. Some of you may have driven in the parking lot. If you don't have a Jeep or an off-road vehicle, it's dangerous. The lady had her foot go off the gas and went on went off the brake, went on the gas, and took part of the pergola out and took one of our streetlights out, the city streetlights. She didn't take it out, the tow truck, and called the city, got all the information that streetlights never been replaced, and that was done probably like over a year ago. The main one in front of as a matter of fact, in front of Jeff's place. So I don't know what we can do to get this thing fixed. I couldn't hear what plan. I could see what's going on up there, and I saw the 190 Brook Street. I was under the impression that the gears are going to get it fixed, fill the potholes up, and get it maintained. So maybe get someone. Where does it stand today? You're going to talk about it, or?
Yeah, right now we're gathering public comment on the subject.
Okay.
We heard a recommendation, I heard a recommendation from our city attorney after the first public comment, but I was soliciting more public comment, and then when y'all are done giving us public comment from the property owners, we'll make a move.
Just remind you, the ones that cover them, I mean, not only, now you know what happens when we have events, but you got the Fountain Square, all of you know this place, Casey's use it. We have the boutique in the front. We have the yoga. We have Jeff's, and then you got the music hall. I can't think of the last one. Oh, the brothers own it up in Philadelphia. Anyway, so there's a lot of traffic there, and that's the first thing people see when they come in off of Perry to take a right to go toward on Brooks. At parking lot's the first thing they go to look for to see if there's a space. I see that more so here lately. So it's not a good impression right now. I mean, it's faster. What we can do as business owners and tenants, we will do whatever. So, but do you see this thing dragging on another season? I mean, I remember when I was president of CRA, some things didn't move real quick, but it seems like very impressed what I saw tonight. Are you talking 6 months, 3 months? I couldn't hear what the plan is for 190 Brooks. That's what we're talking about.
That's it.
Can you give an idea what maybe a decision will be made, any of you?
Well, let's do it. I so move to take city attorney's input, staff getting with the property owners, and sometime before our what's the next calendar CRA meeting? I don't have it off the top of my head, but at our next CRA meeting, come up with a presentation with what happened between staff and majority of the property owners, because we got to get this right. Let's get it right. We're looking strategically for parking. The development inside of downtown Fort Walton Beach is obviously progressing. We heard our city attorney talk about the responsibility of maintenance, so we're not going to sit here tonight and do a whole bunch of pointing fingers of who was responsible for what. Let's just get it right. That's a long motion, but looking for a second.
Gotcha. Second. Again, the problem is the bridge is taking out all our parking down at that end. If it's not just our piece of property that they took, I don't even remember whatever the place was on the corner, all that parking was private, but it was used for public. And I know Allie he never complains much, but anyway, he needs the parking. He needs.
Yeah, all of them do, and that's why we want to square this up. Next CRA meeting, our staff is going to get with property owners and hopefully you, Mr. Wenzel, and others, so that we can whiteboard this, and by next CRA meeting, staff's going to have a concept that we can make the next move based off of information of how y'all's meeting went, because we got to get this right. But when the bridge is done, though, they're also going to be giving back a lot of parking too underneath the bridge.
Okay.
And it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be lit up, and hopefully we can light this parking up too.
That's exciting. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Do you
Now we
mind
got to go to a vote.
do you mind if I ask him a question real quick?
Sure, yes.
Mr. Wenzel, so 3 of the owners are here today. Who are the 2 that are missing, just so we can have that information?
Well, Jeff is the,
I can clarify some of that for you.
Come up there.
You need contact information for Randy Cleveland, Rick Cleveland. Those are the 2 that own coasters. Myself, and I said my name is Jeff Bullard.
Don't give it out, like, you can give that to the, off the record. Okay, all right, good,
Okay.
yeah.
There's also I think it's a Brooks Brown Trust that owns property there, and then the Northwest Florida Ballet owns property there. And I have the phone numbers for all these people.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
I'll hold you tomorrow. I'll love you tomorrow.
yep.
All right, so we got a motion and a second. Any more questions?
No, I just figured.
We got a motion and a second, and you know, even if the next month's meeting after the collaboration, I know we might not have quotes and all that for stormwater cost and things like that, but after meeting with the property owners, we will keep this on a monthly rhythm so that we can see what the resolution is and be very transparent through communication. As, like you mentioned, it started, I guess, at a meet with the city manager at the coffee at the library, and here we are now taking action. So thank you, Mr. Wenzel.
Are you open to any public comment?
Oh, yeah, let's, hold on. We do need to go to a vote. We have a motion and a second, but I do not want to leave this chamber without letting Ms. Tanner speak before this motion and the second. So if, city attorney, if I need to make a motion to waive some Robert's rules or keep me straight on this.
You can let her speak.
All right,
Yes,
please, thank you. Come on, Ms. Tanner.
Candace Tanner, 187 Brook Street. So I appreciate y'all looking at this. I'm not a property owner, so I really don't have, I guess, a place, a stakeholder in it. I'm concerned because, as you know, we're trying to keep our businesses going downtown. And a new business is going to be opening there next to Hot Yoga Om. I'm hearing that she's getting really concerned about not having parking for new customers. She's hoping to open by September 6th. So I appreciate y'all looking at this and studying it, but is there nothing, anything that could be done? I'm really concerned about the property owner that said he was going to shut down a portion of it. And is that going to make it difficult? The way I understood it was it was going to make it difficult for some of the other parking spaces to be accessed. I mean, do we know? I don't. So I'm concerned about it. I don't hear urgency in it. And is there any way we could just temporarily keep that lot open?
Yeah, so without being able to speak for that property, I will say this. I strongly am confident that in the conversation that Mr. Davis and the city attorney has with some of the property owners, it's going to be a good, hopefully, solution. I don't know the solution right now. I definitely can't speak for any of those property owners on what that play is. But the urgency is action was taken. Mr. Davis is going to be meeting with property owners to figure out what the play is. It's a unique concept. You got multiple property owners.
It is. I know it's
and we're out of the lease, but we need to get it right. We need to get the parking lot right. That's what we're here.
Well, and we also have so many events planned for this fall, you know, starting with concert at the landing, and those parking spaces are critical. So anyway, thanks. I appreciate it.
That's it. That's good. All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's go to the vote. I got to hit the button. All right, thank you. All right, you have more of the presentation solution?
Yeah, I would like to finish that one. I wanted to get clarification on, y'all said y'all like to move forward with these projects. I do have the one that's already signed is hold harmless. He would love for me to call him tomorrow and say, let's go forward and conquer and get that demolished. I want clarification that that is okay if we move forward on getting this project done. And y'all, like I said, the next meeting is the 4th Tuesday in October, and I can bring more at that time. Hopefully I have more property owners that have signed the hold harmless, and we can move forward with some others and give y'all an update on that one. I just want clarification that it's okay.
And this is the Wyndham Avenue.
It's the Wyndham,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's the one that's right at the corner of Wyndham and Carson.
Motion to move forward.
Second.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Berry.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Are the property owners going to put any money into it?
That's the purpose of this project, is to not delay all of this cleaning off the properties, because the biggest delay is the expense of having to clear off the properties. So we're not going to require them to do anything. Now, they're going to have to be required to build it up or to sell it or do something with it. But the purpose is to get a nice clean slate and eliminate the blighted building. And that's the purpose of this project. So yes, that we're expecting them to do something with the property, to either sell it or build on it. But there's no requirements in this. It's to eliminate the cause of delay to get these buildings demolished and get it cleaned off. That's the purpose of this. Is
And to piggyback
clean
off
slate.
that, a little bit, I know sometimes it feels very much like a city council meeting, and I wish we could get to a point where property owners are on the CRA board. It's outside of the council, but we're statutorily obligated to improve blight in this environment where we're at. Money's in the budget. I know we can have a budget conversation during the budget cycle on whether or not we should fund these kind of things, but I heard staff say they're ready to roll, and the property owners wanting to remove the
I've got one
blight.
ready tomorrow. He said, please, I hope you call me tomorrow. I'm ready to go. And but we'll have to, of course, still get the 3 quotes. So I've gotten 1 quote, but I can get 2 more real quick and make sure we've got the right price, and we can start moving ASAP, at least on the townhouse.
Okay, so we got a second. Let's go to a vote. All right, passes 5-0.
Can I have one comment on
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
I obviously want to see it done, but much like the facade grants, much like the SIPTED grants, like we want to use money to make things look better, so that's why I'm behind it. You had some ideas in this too, Mr. Davis, pushing this when you got here. I would just like to see it get some more structure, like the other grants have, because right now it's like blight, knock it out. That one's $25,000, that one's $106,000. It's just,
Structure in terms of what? This was, so this came about because of that steamboat project, and we just thought it was a good idea to use that money before hurricane season, that sort of thing. So it was kind of an off-the-cuff discussion.
right.
But I think Mr. Jeter had mentioned putting together the zones, but we already had the zones, so to speak. So now you can kind of pick and choose how many projects you do in a zone. So I can't remember what zone this one fell in, but Steamboat was the other zone, and potentially we could do another, so it's spread evenly.
Right.
So what more structure are you chasing?
I just feel like right now it's something that we went out and we found some things, but maybe at some point, I mean, is this something people are going to apply for? Or is this something we are going to go out, the city, the staff, you, and we're going to go, yep, that needs to go, that needs to go, and that's how it's selected? Or is it going to be something?
It's up to me, I'm gonna mow down half of it.
Right. But I just, like, how much goes towards that grant each year? What are the requirements? Could somebody, like my brain starts working, I'm like, as a business owner, if I want to develop a property, could I take advantage, be like, oh, I bought this blighted property, love for the city to pay the 45 grand to knock it down for me, even though I have the means to and everything else. You know what I mean?
I do, so that you fall within the CRA, and that's well within your right, and then honestly, I think that's a good partnership for everybody, because now that particular business owner wins, all the surrounding properties, their property value is going to go up because they don't have stink boat or whatever it's called, right? Dragging everybody down, and then I think the city's going to win because I don't have the drug addicts and the kids doing kid things.
Yeah.
I think everybody wins there. So if you want structure in terms of how much we spend, or I mean, I think it's hard to say this business should get it, but this person shouldn't. If you fall within the CRA and you beat it, and I mean, I have no problem reaching out to some businesses, more businesses coming in. But I'm trying not to tax the staff without going out and knocking on doors and saying, hey, you want to do this? So I think it's both.
Maybe I just need to understand it more, but you.
Well, I think I support where Mr. Merrill's going with this here, possibly, and it's kind of like the roof, the nuisance abatement we have with the roof of the CDBG grant. And maybe I see a scenario playing out that you described. I bought a property and as a ban, sometimes tearing structures down can get expensive. Oh, the city will tear it down for me. They're going to pay $25,000. Now it's worth $200 instead of $150 because so for us to go bulldoze something and someone sell it the next day, I think maybe some of the restrictions or some of the stuff on here is if we bulldoze your property and you don't get a development order or build on it in the next 5 years, when you do go to sell it, you may owe some of those funds back. Is that where you're kind of getting, there may be a little bit more
Something
stipulated.
what applies and what doesn't, where it works, where it doesn't. So maybe in the CRA district, I love it. I voted for it. I just wonder, like, again, you'd mow down half of them. What does that start to cost? Is there some sort of requirements that they have to meet after? Just
No,
some-
I'm all about saying, hey, you gotta turn dirt in a year.
Right.
Or whatever that timeframe is. So what, suggestion, we'll come that next month with what we think this program should look like, get some feedback and knock it out there.
Right, yeah.
There's some things that I'm probably not thinking through either.
And just to let you know, I've already preliminary put together a structural program for this. It just kind of got on pause because I didn't know what direction it was going to go. Now that y'all are interested in it, I can finish the project. I will let you know that we found, well, one of the properties on Gibson Place, we found some others, but one of them said no, he didn't want to do it. But the reason we know about Gibson Place is because of code enforcement. We challenged them, would y'all please, y'all are out there, y'all know what problems and what buildings are problems, and they came back and gave me a couple of properties. I called the property owners. I got one that said, yeah, I'm interested. So there is a process, but it's not official like my grants that we wrote. I will pull that together and we can get that to you. The next meeting, I'll try to have a process together and we can meet and get it to where it is official. We could easily just say, we've got this amount of money every year that's set for that project. First come, first serve, as long as you fit the criteria.
Because Steamboat, for example, is going to be.
Right, because that would cost more.
That would take the whole.
And that was part, I look at that, it's like 25, 12, this, and then this big, I mean, what if that's, I see where you're coming from too, that. What if it is some multimillionaire developer, you're like, who cares? Take advantage of the grant, just like a facade grant, just like, so I guess as soon as you said that, I kind of wrapped my head around it, but maybe there's some sort of.
Yeah. And I will say this, because I've actually had people come to me and say, wait a second, you're giving facade grant money to somebody that they're rich, they don't need it. This is not a CDBG grant. This is not an income-based, these are not, CRA is not income-based grants. CRA is blight-based. If it needs to go and we can fund to get it go or help get it go, then that's what the CRA is for. So I can easily, I'll bring something back to y'all, and we could easily say, all right, these are the applicants. I give y'all the applicants there, and then y'all decide which ones we approve. If y'all want, that's up to him.
I think we're spinning it in a direction I don't want it to go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is a benefit to the city all
Right.
around. So it doesn't matter if it's a trillionaire that has the money or somebody that just bought the property, maybe.
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
So it's a benefit to the city to do this.
I'm good with that.
We'll work together, get a plan, and submit it.
And I apologize, Mr. Merrill, for not seeing you before the motion passed, but I think it's all heading in the same direction either way. This will get done, and I think now that we're meeting with more frequency with the CRA meetings, we're going to see this program evolve, which is kind of the structure that he's looking for. But also, while the red light's on, this is the time where we can talk with the board while staff is here. I know, we're almost done. Where we can talk while the staff is here. I mean, I fully support soliciting or private property owners that are on the side of the spectrum that aren't code enforcement pests. They're wanting to try to have a public-private partnership or wanting to come in here and figure out a deal that can help improve our blightiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you see any of those property owners, to that structure,
Yeah.
to Mr. Merrill's point, and they need to apply for it, regardless of where they're at on the financial spectrum, fully support using these blighted dollars to help incentivize redevelopment and economics.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to zip through real quick, y'all. Sorry. Okay. So, well, it's not going. Did it die? It may have died. You said the battery's what? I think it died. Okay. Programs for consideration, real quick, I'm just going to let y'all know, and I said the CRA grant, what I'd like to do is change the grants a little bit. So the facade grant is our most popular, but what I'd like to do is rewrite it to where if you're going to get a facade grant, you have to match or you have to be in compliant with the downtown design guidelines that we just approved. We paid for those. We want a cohesive look in our area. So I'd like to change the facade grant to where you have to match those, not just it's going to be pretty. You have to match. So I do want to change that. Another one I want to look at, and it'll stay at 10,000 max. Another one I want to look at is the development permit fee grant. Right now, it's used very little, and it's used for like $100 here, $150 there. I've had one that did use all $5,000, but it was a big project. So what I'd like to change that one is if you're going to increase an area or build that's at least 1,000 square foot or more, then we will cover the development permit fees up to $10,000. Because I really want to encourage growth and use that money for a higher impact for the CRA. So those are the changes I'm looking at doing. I wanted y'all's thoughts on that to see. Now what I would also do is if you've got an application already in, even if it's not finished, it has to be finished. Your application has to be completed, not the project. Your application has to be completed by September the 30th, and we will accept no more applications after by October 1 that doesn't fit these two criteria. And that's eliminating all the other grants. That's just, we want to focus just on these two. I think they'll have a higher impact. Any thoughts? Okay. Do y'all want me to go and move forward with that? I kind of want to know.
I think definitely if we're doing the downtown design from that last, I mean, to get a grant from the city, it should, if that's the goal that we're going for. And you said we're eliminating the other grants?
All the other grants will go. We will only have these two grants, and all the other grants will go. So these are the more high impact grants that can bring more development in the area and have the look that we're going for.
So that would give an opportunity for more businesses to take it and get that look downtown. I think that's, I mean, for me, why would you have them beautify it but then not kind of fall into that design plan if the money's coming from us?
Yes.
The city.
Yes, great idea.
All right, thank you. I will go forward with that. Can you go to the next slide, please? Real quick, this is what we discussed already. We've already discussed it. I did have it in here, and I'm just going to reiterate that these are the power lines that we were talking about. This is a program for consideration. Y'all have already discussed it, and we are going to be looking into it. But I did want to include this in there because CRA does allow for paying for underground lines, but it's a project that I think we all need to consider. We've already discussed it, so I can move forward with that unless y'all have any more questions.
Moving forward, that looks like us, just the next phase. Is that us finding out the cost? Or is it doing it? What's the next phase?
That's where I kind of need some instruction. On my end, it's like, I need to know if y'all want us to use CRA funds to do it. We were also looking at some other options, and I think Jason might can help y'all.
Yeah, I can talk to Bernard again, but I think he said something around 150. But they also did burying by 2035. So I can get a quote from Bernard and see what shape.
Mr. Judy?
I would say similar to the parking lot. Let's
get it done.
Ms. Reynolds, very great presentation, and I certainly see your point of view. I think we have a city manager that will get things done, so I know we're putting a lot of stuff on his plate tonight, but I think there will be good collaboration. Whiteboard is the word he likes to use, between the HOA, between the new property owner, between FPL, between the CRA. I think somehow if we can get four heads to work together, I think we can get some progress done. I don't know what that progress is yet, but let's get a quote and see what we can do, because I certainly, you got a great professional presentation.
Thank you. Okay, next slide, please.
Yeah, I have another program that I'd like you to consider. At the Gulf View Motel.
That's what we're about to discuss.
Pardon?
It's right here. That's the next one.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, I just want to let y'all know, I know y'all had discussed about possibly selling the Gulf View. I wanted y'all to get the actual numbers, and I gave y'all the worksheet. So the Gulf View, we could, I talked to the real estate company. I asked him, what would you put on the market for? He said 1.5. And our expenditures, and we are making money every month, but it's really averaging about $1,600 a month. So over 76 months that we've had the Gulf View, we have made a profit of $124,000. That's over 76 months. So I wanted y'all to see that the average monthly is about $1,633. We do make a profit. So, and I wanted y'all to consider that and look at that option. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with PDA. One of us made an Excel spreadsheet, so yeah.
All good, all good. So what I'm hearing is those are the numbers. Does that cost capture like direct labor in these expenses?
That's all the expenses that have come in that the CRA's had to pay for anything. Because there was 1 month that we had over 30,000, but that's when we had to do the the termite mitigation, we had to do new floors, it was a whole lot
So
of
that
work.
cost of capital improvements, it's
Yeah, it's all
projects.
capital improvements.
But as far as capturing this cost, time and effort, park and rec staff, public works staff,
Yeah.
is that captured in this cost?
It is captured in that cost.
So they have a time sheet that's applied towards their projects that,
The only thing, the real estate company really does a lot of the management. So when we had it painted, they paid for all that, and then they sent us the bill. There was only one thing I know of that our staff did, is I had asked them to paint the inside, and they did paint the inside. So it doesn't, the Gulfview does not demand a lot of our time because it is managed through a real estate company. But it does, and he just sends me a bill and says, this is what we had to get done, and he sends us a bill and we pay for it. We reimburse the real estate company. So that really is a very good number you're looking at right there on the actual cost P&L for owning that property. You can sell it for 1.5 million. That's what he says. I don't know how quick it'd sell, but that's what he thinks we could actually sell it for. So that's what y'all need to decide, if y'all want to sell it or if you want to keep it as is.
well, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Davis, but the process of even getting to a point to see if there's an appetite out there in marketplace, you know, a request for questions or request for information, what would be something that, again, not saying, hey, tonight, let's go sell the Gulfview. I just want to make that clear, no. But what would be a process that maybe we could do to see if there is an appraised value that someone in the marketplace could say, I'm not saying go out and get appraisals, but by putting an RFQ, by putting an RFI out there to see if there is an appetite in the marketplace justifies my appraisal. What's the process that we could possibly do to see the appetite without making a commitment that we're going to sell?
Push that back on the realtor, but at the same time, I don't think you're required to sell it. What's it say in the ordinance?
There's a full process in there. I can't.
There is a surplus property ordinance, so we'd have to come back and actually do that. I was going to, if y'all are about to vote, I was going to say we at least need to come back to the next meeting and start the surplus property process.
You know, and then maybe, again, I know we're just whiteboarding it right now, but maybe it doesn't need to get surplus. I don't know what the ordinance is right now either, but getting it to a point where there is something that the marketplace can decide whether or not they're interested. And then we get those RFQs or get those RFIs back, and it's 4 applicants that say, hey, we would like to put a bed and breakfast or whatever the said proposal is, or we find out there's 0 interest. And that gives us data that's very objective that says, all right, let's make a decision. You know what I mean?
Typically what I've done with commercial properties or government properties is I get 2 appraisals listed. I don't have to sell it. I don't know if unless there's something in the ordinances that says we have to once we put it out.
No, and in fact, that probably the better route, let him do that, because if you actually put it out there and try to get someone to come in and make an informal offer, we'd still have to go back to the surplus process and basically open it up to other offers, and so that could mislead the person. So I think his route of getting 2 appraisals is better. That's if y'all.
Right, so I think we can start that.
Well, then if that's the play, and I say play, I'm definitely soliciting board's feedback. I mean, I know we're pushing a 6 o'clock council meeting as well, but just, you know, please.
I was under the impression we're making 100,000 a year because I can't read if we're making $1,600 a month. We're begging for something catastrophic to happen when we got a huge bill. And I think one of your counterparts wants to add an elevator and, you know, so on and so forth. So.
Yeah, so those kind of things, we're trying to find a play that we can gauge an appetite. And what I'm hearing you say is if we can, again, really looking at the board too, and if we need at some point a motion to start that conversation, but looking for questions or comments on that.
I think like many things we can start it, explore it. I mean, if there's some sort of public feedback that's totally opposed, but that, you know, we're not committing to anything, same as the library. Let's see where it's at. I think we could
Also, that money, let's say we sell it for 1.5 million, it's not like I can use that for anything. It's going to go back into CRA.
That's
just clarification there too.
I like what Mr. Merrill said. I mean, just gauging the appetite. Mr. Jeter.
And I'm sure we'll start with our real estate advisor and he'll advise, but I know there's a lot of individual leases in there. I don't know how that would play out too. Obviously, things change in value depending on if it's leased for 1 month or if you have multiple things in there that just signed a 3, 4, 5 year lease. So you'll start in the right place, but I think our real estate advisor will be able to tell us all of our options going forward. But I'm all for exploring and learning.
Okay.
I think,
Mr. Brennan?
I would just say I would recommend public feedback instead of us just, I have no desire to want to sell it. That's just me personally, but public feedback, I mean, that'd be what I recommend.
Definitely want public feedback. And before we even consider making a decision for selling it, I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Browning. There would be no intentions in ever not having public feedback.
Yes.
What I think I'm hearing is a consensus of putting it out there, getting the appraisals, and them coming back and giving us information on whether or not there's an appetite and whether or not they have interest. At that meeting, then we can decide, based off public input and things like that, to take the next step. So I appreciate you bringing that
So
up.
we'll come back to the appraisals and how long that takes. I don't have a lot of faith.
That's right, it's not a hard
appraisals and then the tenants, no leases and no bonds.
That's right. That's it.
So I'd like guidance. I still got a few more slides, and I know we're going into the meeting. Do you want me to continue, or do you want us to table my rest to the next meeting?
Do we need any action on that, or do we have a consensus on what we can do without a motion as far as getting those two appraisals?
If Mr. Davis get those appraisals, and he's already said he'll do it, so.
Okay, we're good to go. All right. Thank you.
Just keep going?
Yes, ma'am, keep
I'll
going.
be brief. Okay, if we can go to the next slide, please. So these are some beautification projects we're looking at. Top right, you'll see dumpster enclosures. We have about 250 dumpsters in the CRA that we pick up. And underneath it, you can see where we had enclosed this. This is behind the Fockers restaurant and what it looked like up top and what it looks like now. I want to go around and evaluate the dumpsters. Worst first, get them cleaned up and help get that process going. That's another project I'm working on. We'd also looked into doing some utility box wraps that we can either use a professional artist. I will say that we had the storm drain project. We had a lot of beautiful submissions that did not get that did not win, that were great. And we could pay them for their design and then get the wrap done. We're looking at about $2,000 average for the wraps. If we pay for the designer, you're looking at about $2,300 to pay for their artwork. So that's another project we would like to look into. Now also, especially I love it with the our 250th anniversary of USA, painting some fire hydrants and going out to get some artists or the schools and get some patriotic paint, or get the fire hydrants painted patriotic to get ready for our 250th anniversary of the US. So that's another project I'm looking into, see if y'all would be interested in me moving forward on those projects.
Sounds like it's in the budget.
It's all in budget. So.
Any questions or feedback on that?
I always support beautification.
Thank you. Okay. So I will move forward on getting those projects going. Okay, the next
Now,
slide.
is that in this next budget year is kind of the deliverable?
All these are going to be in your improvements other than buildings, and we've got money that's going to roll over from this year to next year, and all the money has to be spent.
As far as executing that beautification
I can go ahead and get started some over this year. I've got some money this year, but we can go ahead and get started on some.
I'm sorry. Okay. This year, meaning like after October 1, the next budget year, those beautification things, those things that were just on the picture, that deliverable is going to be done next budget year.
It would be better to just say, yes, we're going to start it next budget year, but I'll get started the process to try to get it ready.
Just
but
curious
the money
on
will
when
come out.
the period of performance.
Yeah, the money will come out of next year's budget, yes.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, just curious on what the expectation of execution was on those beautification projects. If it was going to be during next budget year, or is it to gather information and get bids out for, down the road, or is it? Okay.
I want those done next year. Now, the dumpsters will take several phases. It's going to probably take up to 3 to 5 phases. The dumpsters will take longer. The utility wraps and the fire hydrants, definitely the fire hydrants, if we're going to go to the patriotic theme, I want to get that done as soon as possible. Because for our
Great presentation.
Thank you. One more thing, y'all had talked about expanding the CRA district. I just wanted to give y'all some information of what is entailed on this. I know y'all had looked at north of town. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. And just go ahead and go to the next one. These are steps, y'all can have it and look at them, the steps that will be involved if we do expand the CRA or get a new CRA district. I do want to reiterate with y'all that with the legislative process, the way it's going, and I just had my FRA board meeting this past week, they're saying if we're going to expand or we need to do it this year. because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. So if you are interested in actually opening a new district or expanding, then we need to look at seriously doing it this year. We do have some finding of need that we had on the last one that was out there that we could use from, but you've got several steps if you're going to do a new CRA district or expand. It's going to have to be done. But I wanted y'all to understand how the money will work. So let's say you've got, when you do a CRA district, you got to establish a base year. So for an example, our base year on our property tax value is at $100,000. The city and county get $200 from those taxes. So, so that's their tax payment. So you establish a base year. The CRA will get no funds at all until the property values go up. So let's say in 5 years, the property values go up to $150,000. So now the city and county are getting $300. They get that $200, and then $100 of it comes to the CRA's budget. So that's how it works. As the property values increase, no new taxes are involved. It's just the taxes that are created because of the values that goes into the CRA fund. So if y'all got if we do a new CRA district, then the city's going to have to fund any projects it wants done during that time frame. But once the funds start building up, then it can support itself. But you do, and also the CRAs cannot loan or give any money out to another district. So we cannot pull from this district to fund any projects. So if we do this, any projects y'all want done in any area we choose will have to be city funded until the values raise and the money comes in.
If the board does choose to move forward with this, which, you know, I guess we'll hear in a little bit, but as the legal stuff gets to Mr. Burns' desk, it would be interesting to explore as we're expanding this district, whether it's a county appointed seat or another property owner's seat, if we can legally go back to how that used to be at one day up here where there was some other people besides city council and the CRA board.
Oh, you're talking about the makeup of the board.
That's it.
Okay.
Just planning that out there. I know we're not making immediate action tonight on expanding
It's
the
just
CRA.
information.
That's right, that's right. As we take action though here, because you're looking for action if we want to expand it, right?
Not right now.
No?
I just want to
Okay.
give you the information.
Gotcha.
I just wanted y'all to be aware, if you do this, it does need to be done before the legislative session comes up. It does have to have its own money, and it would have to have its
That's
own
here
board.
pretty soon.
Yes, they're going to be starting in the spring.
Committee starts, right?
Yeah, they're going to be starting in the spring, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
This came about from the discussion on, was it Ewan?
Eglin Parkway, the north part that I showed y'all a while ago.
Yeah, so where the AJs and then that, all that area, if we wanted to create a new CRA district, that was the discussion.
And if I remember the meeting minutes from previous meetings, that's where the board we're going with is expanding.
We were looking at that. That was one of the options. There are some things to consider about that area because it is the entrance. But one thing about that area is only the north side of that street is within the city. The south side of that road, that's not city property. So we can't do anything except for on the north side, which we would do some streetscapes. We could do some things, but it would be limited. I can bring back more information at the next meeting. I just wanted y'all to be aware. If y'all want to do it, I can bring back more information and I can show you what the finding of needs that we already do have that we could pull from.
That's the direction it's headed with the board.
That would have to be a new district though, because it's not contiguous to the current district. Even if you expanded the current district up and try to go around Cinco Bayou Township to go into it, you can't do it that way. So you'd have to create a new district.
Yeah. It has to be a brand new district.
So I'm supporting that. Is any other feedback on the board? I think you got a consensus. This continues to develop though, whatever that looks like in the legal front, if we can explore as these districts are expanding the CRA district, whether it's a county appointed seat and also another property or partial owner that's in the CRA district that could be on the CRA board. Again, that's low priority, but as this evolves and see what we can legally do.
It is low priority. It's just, if you want to do it, I just wanted y'all to be aware. I would do it before the next session. We don't anticipate anything happening, but you never know with the CRAs.
But you bring up a good point, if I can just add, in that, you know, with legislation, as well as to, you know, in this presentation, you talked a lot about the downtown design. And I know we could have drilled in really deep in those incentives. As well as to this past year, we've had conversations about the consultant's presentation of what the standards they recommend, architectural standards and those kind of things. With the legislative session and some of the legislation that we're currently restricted on being able to meet reality with some of those things. Y'all heard us have discussions here the past few months, or really a year, about SB 180. And that SB 180 is a thing that can restrict us from meeting these standards that we all want with incentives and redevelopment. So I'm just looking for support and a consensus on, continuing to meet and work with our legislators, especially inside of the CRA district, on continuing to educate and work with our state legislators on SB 180 so that we can paint the picture to our state delegation on what the pros are, as well as the challenges that SB 180 now does with our staff.
Yeah.
Am I right with that, Ms. Alicia?
Yeah, and also with all these new legislative sessions coming up, the FRA is actually working actively to try to be more proactive on protecting the CRAs, but the legislators listen to y'all. They listen to the elected officials. They listen to the local representatives. So anything we do has been great, and we have fought and done a wonderful job, our lobbyists have, but the more information and the more we can go and say, listen, this is what we want in our area, the better. So
I'm going to keep going and trying to work with our county and state
Yes.
property holders after this conversation, or excuse me, partners, legislative partners and property owners as well,
Yeah.
and continue to give this board feedback on what that looks like. Committee starting, I believe, in October, getting to SB 180 where we can hopefully get these things to reality.
Yeah.
Because, the downtown master plan is what the community wants.
Yeah.
Now executing that and being reality is the challenge. So, looking for any input or feedback on that. If not, I'm going to keep rolling with trying to get with our county and state partners to educate and kind of share with them what those challenges are. Okay, all right.
I have nothing else to provide if that's up to y'all.
Anybody else, any feedback or any questions or any action?
This question.
Does the public be able to speak on anything that was mentioned in this?
At this time, we'll have public comment on the 2025 CRA quarterly update.
Misty Founders, 21 Comet Street. I just wanted to ask for clarification on the change to the grants on incorporating the design elements for cohesion. Is that specifically the full CRA, or is that part of your new zones? And I'm asking because if you were in Uptown District or what used to be called Midtown, and I'm worried about an impediment cost for someone who's going to be a one-off away from the downtown elements.
Me personally, I would say that, me personally, I would like to say if they're going to comply with the downtown design, we kind of would like that throughout the whole CRA district, even though it was specifically for the downtown. I think it's a great plan, and it's obviously what the citizens would like, and I would like to keep that design throughout the whole CRA and the facade on that area.
Thank you. Any more questions on the 2025, or excuse me, comments on the 2025 CRA quarterly update? All right, seeing none. Action, direction, discussion. Do you need any more action, or does Mr. Gibson, Mr. Davis, are we good on action? Okay, on that end.
I think we've got plenty of things.
Okay, all right. Before we adjourn, Mr. Brown? No. Mr. Berry?
No, I don't think.
Mr. Jeter?
I love the progress, and I love the new 2-month updates every now and then. Looking forward to 2 months from now.
Mr. Merrill? I'm all good. I would like to bring up, as we get ready for this really winter and spring, but moving to get staff in public safety and public works to bring us back at a CRA meeting, again, early winter, early 2026 timeframe. Just concepts that we could look at that are not only feasible but realistic concepts that staff may have on back to that economic Gibson district, that Eglin corridor, for staff to bring us back some concepts that could look at redesigning or possibly reprogramming traffic. Again, if those concepts can even come to reality, it's a long due process, very long public due process. One of the parts would be the TPO would need to look for some kind of resolution. Before we could even have a resolution, I'd like to hear a presentation from staff in the CRA environment where it's very, what I mean informal, it's that whiteboarding phrase we've been talking tonight, some presentations, concepts, early 2026, to see if there's any play on trying to improve that district that goes down Eglin Parkway all the way through to Florida Place where the food trucks and the museum is, and Perry North and Perry South, different concepts and things like that the Transportation Planning Organization has kind of shared some things that could be opportunities for the city of Fort Walton Beach. I'd like to hear more of that based off of input from staff and their presentation, including legal. So looking for a second.
Second.
Right. Mr. Berry,
May I ask a question?
please.
Okay. Are you referring to like the Around the Mountain downtown?
It's a good point. When the Round the Mountain does come, that Perry North will be going that way anyways. As we continue to advocate, I think it was a meeting or so ago, we helped fund the design for the Around the Mountain to try to expedite and marry the bridge project and the Around the Mountain project. So as that happens, Perry will be north anyways. But if there's some concepts we could look at before Around the Mountain even, I know we all want Around the Mountain to happen, but even before then, some possible concepts that we could look at doing those Perry North and Perry South concepts.
Maybe more roundabouts?
Too soon. So that's a great question, great comments, and I know this is again another big idea. I say big idea, concept, and just so that we're all clear, it's a very public due process, and staff coming back with the whiteboard presentation, and there may or may not be any action. But if there is an appetite based off the information we get, the next domino that would need to fall would be some type of resolution to send to TPO. So, all right, let's go to a vote. All right, any more business? All right, meeting adjourned.